Okay, we really did the two previous tutorials, but let's read it. Publish, subscribe. This is another workflow. Okay, using .NET Client. In the previous tutorial, we created a work queue. The assumption behind a work queue is that each task is delivered to exactly one worker. In this part, we will do something completely different. We will deliver a message to multiple customers. This pattern is known as publish subscribe. Yeah, I know different names. Publish subscribe, trigger notify, and so on and so forth. That's terminology. To illustrate the pattern, we are going to build a simple logging system. It will consist of two programs. The first will emit log messages and the second will receive and print them. It's a very powerful concept. So the logging of the errors of your application actually can be done this way. Distributed systems can be built very easy. In our logging system, every running copy of the receiver program will get the messages. That way, we will be able to run one receiver and direct the logs to a disk. And at the same time, we will be able to run another receiver and see the logs of the screen. So, one of our instances will record into the file, another one is going to show it on the screen. But both are going to receive the messages. Essentially, published log messages are going to be broadcast to all the receivers. So everything is broadcasted to all receivers. Exchanges. In previous parts of the tutorial, we sent and received messages to and from a queue. To and from a queue. Now it's time to introduce the full messaging model in Rabbit. Let's quickly go over what we covered in the previous tutorials. A producer is a user application that sends messages. A queue, a buffer that stores messages. A consumer is a user application that receives messages. The core idea in the messaging model in RabbitMQ is that the producer never sends any messages directly to a queue. Actually, quite often, the producer doesn't even know if a message will be delivered to any queue at all. Instead, the producer can only send messages to an exchange. An exchange is a very simple thing. On one side, it receives messages from producers, and the other side is it pushes them to the queues. The exchange must know exactly what to do with the message it receives. Should it be appended to a particular queue? Should it be appended to many queues? Or should it get discarded? The rules from that are defined by the exchange type. We haven't used the exchange types so far. There are few exchange types available: direct, topic, headers, and fan out. We'll focus on the last one, the fan out. Let's create an exchange of this type and call it logs. Let me look at the exchanges. Do we mention exchanges so far? Yeah, here we go. Look, exchange, and but so far this is our old tutorial. The exchange, it's empty, which means it takes the default value. What is the default value of all this? Probably fan out, I don't know. So we'll see. The fan out exchange is very simple. As you can probably guess from the name, it just broadcasts all the messages it receives to all the queues it knows. And that's exactly what we need for our logger. Okay? Okay. Logging exchange. Sudo rabbit blah blah blah. Rabbit list exchanges. Let me see how many exchanges do we have right now. We already logged into the Docker container of RabbitMQ. Let's see. Huh. Topic, direct, match, fan out, headers. Those are the exchanges. Topic, blah blah blah. Direct, topic. Okay. This is list. In this list, there will be some AMQ, yeah, exchanges and the default unnamed exchange. These are created by default, but it's unlikely you'll need to use them at the moment. The default exchange. In previous parts of the tutorial, we knew nothing about exchanges, but still were able to send messages to the queues. That was possible because we were using a default exchange which we identify by the empty string. Yeah, that's true. Recall how we published the message before. Yeah, I recall that. Here we go. Change basic publish. We don't have exchange, routing key, basic property, and body. That's it. But we didn't mention the exchange, the type of the exchange. Yeah, this is exactly what we did. The first parameter is the name of the exchange. The empty string denotes the default or nameless exchange. Messages are routed to the queue with the name specified by routing key. The first parameter is the name of the exchange. Okay, we didn't mention the name of the exchange. We saw the exchanges here. Direct headers, fan out headers. So exchange, it's a way to group queues, I believe. What do you think about that?
I don't know, to be honest.
The empty string, we don't have to go very deep into this rabbit hole. The empty string denotes the default or nameless exchange. Default or nameless. Messages are routed to the queue with the name specified by route. Okay, so if I don't mention the exchange, but I mention the routing key, all the messages are sent to this queue. Okay, now we can publish to our named exchange instead. Okay, so we gotta create a new folder. Publish subscribe is gonna be called where we are here. Okay, so let me do the thing. I'm gonna exit right now. Worker. Now in the trash I'm gonna create a new directory. Make dir RabbitMQ, and this time I'm gonna call it publish subscribe, right? I think it's a suitable name. Change it to rabbit publish subscribe. Now I'm gonna create two projects, temporary queues. Now we can publish to our named exchange instead. Okay, so notice this, they don't mention the queue, but they mention the exchange, so they create exchange probably, and all the queues into this exchange will receive the message, and they will be dispatched to everywhere. So let me see if they have a comment somewhere. No. Okay, so we have directions what to do now. We're gonna use our old code which we created. So now we can publish to our named exchange instead. Okay, we have to draw conclusions from what we see right now to understand how to name our projects, but we will do that. Get messages, argument, message, get message, argument, body encode, blah blah blah. So we have to create actually two projects, I believe, even more. We have to create three projects. One of them is gonna send the messages, and two of them are gonna receive the messages. Now we can publish our name at exchange instead. Okay, temporary queues. Okay, let's read now, and after that we will create the project. As you may remember previously, we were using queues that had specific names. Remember hello and task? Okay, I remember. Being able to name a queue was critical for us. We needed to point the workers to the same queue. Given queue name is important when you want to share the queue between producers and consumers, but that's not the case for our logger. We want to hear about all log messages, not just a subset of them. We are also interested only in currently following messages, not in old ones. To solve that, we need to two things. Firstly, whenever we connect to Rabbit, we need a fresh, empty queue. To do this, we could create a queue with a random name, or even better, let the server chooses a random queue name for us. Secondly, Once we disconnect the consumer, the queue should be automatically deleted. In the .NET client, when we supply no parameters to queueDeclare, we create a non-durable exclusive auto-delete query, a queue, with a generated name. var queueChannel, blah blah blah, queue name. We're gonna see that. Okay, you can learn more about the exclusive flags in the documentation. At the point queue name contains a random queue name. For example, it may be like that. So these queues will be created with random names if we don't mention the name, but we will put the exchange. We already created a fan out exchange and a queue. We haven't created, but now we need to tell the exchange to send messages to our queue. That relationship between exchange and the queue is called binding. Channel queue bind, queue name, exchange locks, routing key, and there is no queue. From now on, locks exchange will append messages to our queue. Listing bindings, rabbit list bindings. I'm not gonna execute that. Putting it all together. They're giving us the information. Okay. The producer program, which emits lock messages, doesn't look much different from the previous tutorial. The most important change is that we now want to publish messages to our logs exchange instead of a nameless one. We need to supply a routing key when sending, but its value is ignored for fanout exchange. Here goes the code, emit logs. Okay, so we have to create what? Emit log. Let's create a new project, which is .NET new console -- name, and we're gonna call it emit log, right? I think so. So emit log has been created. At least this is what I think. ls. So I actually say code. Let's start Visual Studio Code, which is gonna help me in this case. No, I don't want to learn more. I don't care about that. Okay, full screen, emit log, program CS, we are gonna rename it. We're gonna rename it to emit, right? Emit log. Yes, I wanna do that. Okay, so program should be renamed to emit log. Okay, come on. Rename. Emit log has been renamed. Now, I'm just following the instructions from previous tutorials, right? Now we gotta go there and install the Rabbit. So, emit log. First, let me create the second project. Receive log.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have different names.
I barely can hear you, so. George?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
No, I was thinking that you're talking to me, so sorry about that.
Yeah, I was saying something.
Okay, so we have to create two projects. That's absolutely clear. That's easy. Okay, that's done. Now let's rename it again. We should be having now receive log, program, receive logs. I'm gonna even close this, rename it again. Of course, we can do it from the console with the move command, but I don't have it handy right now, so I'm using a shortcut. So receive log. Now we gotta install the packages.
Shall we not change the name of the class as well? Because the class name is still program in our edit.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that, but it's not necessary. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We could do that. Emit lock, receive lock. It's not necessary, even though it's possible. Yeah, instead of program, we can change it to receive lock. And here, emit locks, we will change it to emit lock. Okay. Now, it's not necessary as I said, but it's possible. Let's do it this way. Now, we gotta install the packages. So I'm gonna change to emitlock, and I'm gonna say .NET uh, add package rabbit. No, I'm not gonna recall that, so let me try this way. Mm. Add package rabbit. Yeah, here we go. We have it, thanks God, into the console. This is another reason to love the console. With the key, actually, with the up and down arrow keys, you can bring it back, whatever you have typed. So .NET package RabbitMQ, okay. The very same packages. Restore, package restore. .NET restore. Mm, we'll do the same for the receive lock. Package. Gradually, actually, they leave us alone. So you have to be smart enough to, to draw conclusions and make it yourself. The tutorial I'm talking about. It's not like for idiots. So copy this code, put it there, and don't think too much. So we are thinking instead of you. So okay, you're absolutely right. Right, actually, they changed the class. They don't have a namespaces, but this doesn't matter actually. So that's why sometimes I'm getting confused probably because I'm looking and I'm seeing more curly braces. So emit lock. Is this emit lock? Yeah, emit lock. We know already this. You know the drill. Using. See, the only thing that it makes it a little bit more interesting is here they don't have the open and close curly braces, but they don't have semicolon as well. So you can omit the open and close the curly braces in case you have only one statement. And this is exactly what you do. I don't know if you remember and if you know that, but for example, for the if statement, if the block of code consists of only one statement, you don't need to put the open and close curly braces. Um, is that ring the bell? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's perfect. So this is what they do. They're nested using statements, but as you can see, this one is here. I don't know. It sometimes confuses me, and sometimes I'm getting mad when somebody is trying to play smart. I don't like this too much, do you know? But the people like to do that. So I'm gonna copy this and just look at the differences. This is the emit lock, and I'm gonna um,
You
public void.
take only you take
Yeah,
your
only the
main.
method. Yeah, only the method. So I'm gonna put the method. And now let's see if my Visual Studio Code works. Now, magically works for some reason using Rabbit. Okay, exchange type. That's okay. Encoding. This is in system text type as far as I remember. System text. That's it. So the using statements have been added. Let's take a look a little bit. Again, the very well known factory, the host of the message queue, Rabbit message queue. Connection factory creates the connection using channel, okay. Channel exchange declare, exchange lock. Yeah, here we go. This is the difference. Exchange type, fan out. Look this. Message, they again prepare the message, get message from the arguments, because this is the sender. Again, the same thing. We are gonna put hello with 3 dots, with 5 dots, with whatever, but this time is gonna be different. Even we don't need the dots. Var body encode, and here we go. Channel basic public exchange lock. Routing key, because we are not gonna use any particular queue. The queue is gonna be used just to deliver the messages, and after that is gonna be removed. The queue is gonna take this uh, randomly generated name. Basic property null, console write send message, blah blah. Okay, press any key to exit. We know already this, and this is for preparing the message. Okay, so receive lock. Again, the very same story. I'm gonna copy main, not waste our time anymore. I have to copy up to here because they don't have a namespace. We do have namespace, that's why we have 2 curly braces more. Okay, so now don't tell me that everything is right, because it isn't. Look, it's again. Now, my God, connection factory, control dot, no code actions available. Tell me what's wrong with my Visual Studio Code now. Isn't this actually mystery? Receive lock. Okay, so I'm gonna avoid this. Again, the very same thing. Factory, connection, channel exchange lock. So everything what is put in the exchange lock, receive it. Var qname, channel q, declare qname. They said that this is what you need actually for the qname. They're gonna be randomly generated. Channel q bind, qname, exchange locks, routing key, whatever it is. Console write waiting for locks. Var consumer new event basic consumer, and here we create the callback. What to do when you receive a message. It's just gonna print it. And channel basic consumption, consume, qname, auto acknowledge true, and consumer. Okay, console write. So we are not waiting for the acknowledgement. We are not doing this manually. We are automatically acknowledge that we have received it. Okay, as I said, RabbitMQ, actually it's another rabbit hole in which you can go very, very deep, even to the point when you start contributing to this project, but that means that you dedicate all your free time only to this project, and we have our own project, so we will dedicate as much time as necessary to grasp the concept. We don't have to go very deep unless we meet a serious problem like identity server for putting into the Docker container, which is still not solved across the globe. So this is gonna be our contribution if we solve this issue. Follow the step instruction for tutorial. Okay, and now we will run 2 receivers, and as you can see, we reroute actually the output. Instead of to the console, we are gonna do it in the log form rabbit log file. So the output is redirected to the file. Let me change now the now we gotta go to Rabbit publish subscribe receiver. Okay, and here we gotta do the same. Let's go to the receiver. I haven't even stopped this. Okay, so change directly this. Okay, I'm here, present working directory. Yeah, I'm in the receiver. Let's go to the exchange log now. Rabbit. Oh, not this one. Change directory rabbit. Publish subscribe. Emitter, who is gonna emit the messages. And now they say that we gotta run the receiver like that, so we'll get a file in the same directory, in the same folder. Okay, so let me try this, and we are gonna run it normally in another console, so we will see the messages in the console instead of going to the file. Let me wait a little bit, press enter to exit. Okay, so let me put them next to each other, and here emit run, we're not gonna send anything, so what they're gonna print is hello world, because they're gonna receive the message hello world. Okay, oops, not this one. Let me put them next to each other. In this one we are not gonna see anything, but the message will be redirected to the logs underscore from rabbit.log into the file, so we will see this into the file. Now .NET run for the emitter will send hello world message to all the recipients, for all the receivers. And here we go, we get the one which is running on the console, hello world. If I stop this one and look at into the folder, we will see there is a file. Let me do that in File Explorer just to show that. In file, oops, what did I do here? Projects, trash. As I said, I don't like this name anymore. Rabbit, hello world, publish, subscribe. I'm running in receive log, so I should be having a file. Here we go. I have this file. Okay, why should I open it with this one? But okay, I will open with this one. Notepad++, and here we go. We have a hello world. Not now. Okay, so I guess this concludes this tutorial. Using Rabbit CTL list bindings, you can verify that the code actually creates bindings. Okay, let's see the bindings. Let me run it here. Let me see if I have it. Docker. Okay. Let me see the command here. List bindings. Let me see the bindings now. And here we go. Those are the random queues which have been created for our exchange. Where is the exchange? Here we go. Here we go, the exchange. Lock queue, I don't know. Honestly, to be absolutely honest, here we go. Those are the queues. And the locks is the exchange. Okay, that's it. This concludes actually the tutorial, I believe. Production not okay. The interpretation of the result is straightforward. Data from exchange logs goes to two queues with server assigned names, and that's exactly what we intended. To find out more, blah blah, getting help, provide feedback. Okay, that concludes this tutorial.